Hey, here we are. We got on here. Whew. We've been messing with the cameras. Things were not working right, but now we're here and we're going to get started. For some reason on this, it's not showing me much of anything. So unlike last week where we messed around with that a lot, we're not going to mess with that this week. Oh, I see. Okay, now it's showing me. Amber joined. Hello. And so I'll be able to keep up with you guys now and kind of work this in a different way. I apologize for being late. We were experimenting with different cameras and stuff like that to see if we could get something better working than what we had last week. I got these little flyaways here. Okay. So I want to go over real quick with you guys. I had a couple people ask just, where you can get supplies so that when you do this each Tuesday night, you can go onto our website. It's applepiepainting.com. Click the DIY painting kit at the top of the page or on the side menu on your phone, and you can go right into there, and we offer a kit for $15 that comes with everything you need to paint along with us. It has the 5 basic colors that you need, which I am now going to kind of go through. So we've got white, and I'm just going to put that on my plate here. So I've got it ready. And then we've got yellow. And I'm just doing this now while we're waiting for some people to tune in. Hopefully we didn't lose a lot of people because we were about 5 minutes late, and I really apologize. It's not the MO around our company, and we will be tuning in every Tuesday at 8 o'clock. So if you guys want to come in at 8 o'clock and you come in at 8:05, we'll still kind of hang around and wait for you guys, just like you were so patiently waiting for me. Okay. All right. So, sorry, I got the red and the blue paint, and then now I am putting on my black paint, which actually for this one we don't use black, but either way, I always just put all 5 colors out. That way I can know, what I'm trying to mix. So I've got my 5 paint colors here: red, yellow, blue, black, and white. As I said last week, all colors can be made with those 5 colors, okay? And if you ever are wanting to make brown, does anybody that tuned in last week, do you remember how I told you to make brown? Comment here and I'll be able to let you know if this is it. Hi, Paige. Thank you for tuning in. So we're going to be painting this painting here today, and I'm kind of tripping over my easels here, so I'm going to move this one forward a little bit and kind of move this one a little bit more sideways though. Okay. That should be a lot easier for me to handle. So we're going to be painting the Emerald City today. And this one's fantastic for adults, kids, anybody. Everybody loves the Wizard of Oz, and it's super easy to paint. So I'm going to cut to the chase, kind of get right in it. If you guys have any questions at all, just comment there, and I'll be able to answer your questions and visit with you guys as we go along. All right, so you do want to make sure that whenever you're painting that you've got a cup of water so that you can do brush rinsing, and you want to make sure you've got some paper towels, a plate to mix on, as I showed you already, and then all 5 of your basic paints: blue, yellow, red, white, and black, okay? So I'm going to start with a very, very light blue for this area, okay? And Amber said, how you make brown is mix the color with its opposite. Exactly, that's exactly right. So green with red, orange with blue, or purple with yellow will all work. And here's a little color wheel so you can see. So if they're opposites on the color wheel, like, oh, I can't see, like the green and the red and the blue and orange and the purple and yellow, then they will make brown. Okay, so I'm going to mix a very light blue color like this here. And that is going to be using most of my white paint. But I don't want to just take my brush and dip it in and use the whole white paint, right? So what I like to do is just dip a little bit of the blue in. Okay, so I got a little bit of blue on there. And then I'm just going to mix it off to the edge of the white paint here to get a light blue color. Okay, and I'm going to keep pulling that white paint in until it gets to a light blue. Okay, so it's a pretty, really light blue. I know that it's really hard to see on this camera here. I'm trying to show you guys, but it's a very light blue. And then all I'm going to do is take, and I'm going to dip my brush in the water real quick, and then just kind of 1, 2, 3, so that it's not dripping wet water, but it's wet. And then I'm going to find your horizon line for this painting, you're going to go about halfway up the canvas and then just about an inch or so higher. All right? So you go about halfway up, and then you go about an inch or so higher, and I'm just going to make a little line there, and I'm just going to take it all the way across nice and slow. It doesn't have to be perfect because you're going to put your grass in, you're going to put your Emerald City in here and everything like that, and we can even all this out later, okay? So you're just going to come in and you're going to go ahead and paint that whole top area, right? And this is where you really kind of want to use your water. So again, dip, dab, dab is what I do. And then bring it right through. I want to say thank you so much to everybody who tuned in last week for our first episode. It was so much fun. I was super nervous, and I think that you all had a great time with it. And I have a great time with it. I really love what we do here. So you're just kind of painting this whole top portion really light blue. And as you can see, you can see my brush strokes as I paint this in, right, through here. So what I'm doing is just going ahead and getting my base layer down and painting it in, okay? Now, if you're using a stretched canvas like I am here, then you want to go ahead and paint the edge all the way down to your line, okay? So I like to finish my edges off as if the painting was just wrapped all the way around there, right? As if it's an ongoing thing. So then you just come across your top here and get that painted in. Again, you want to kind of move fast. You got your water, and that'll dry out your paint pretty quickly. And then you just want to come off to the side and get that side painted in blue. I think I got most of it, but I can't tell. Yeah, a little bit. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, since you can see all these lines, I'm just going to take my brush and get a little bit more paint on it, not a lot. And I'm just going to, when I do this, I'm going to go all the way from one side to the other. Again, holding the brush up towards the top so that you get nice control as you're moving. And if you notice, I don't move my wrist, I move my whole arm back and forth. And that creates this just beautiful line. So it makes it nice and smooth all the way across, back and forth. Okay. And that's just that simple. You just paint that top part blue and then go ahead and rinse your brush out. Okay. And I want to show you guys real quick, if you order the kit from our website, I didn't realize that the thing was shaking every time I rinse a brush. But if you order the Classic Live Painting Party Kit from our website, you get 4 different types of brushes. So I was going to show you guys real quick while you're finishing up your sky here. You're going to get this larger brush, okay? And then you're going to get a medium size flat brush. So it's a nice flat brush, as you can see. And then you're going to get a small flat brush, okay? And then you're going to get a small round brush, like that, Okay, and actually these are not called flat brushes. Sorry, these two are not called flat brushes. They are actually called bright brushes. So 10 filbert, 4 bright, 2 bright, and a number 2 round. It's what you will get in your kit if you order it on our website. They're only $15. It comes with your canvas, all your paints, palette, an easel for the back of your canvas, not a stand-up easel like these, but a cardboard attachable back easel, and all the paints you need, all 5 colors, and a mixing plate so you can paint right along with us. And it's only $15. So yay. Okay. So we're going to go in next, and we're going to go ahead and add in the yellow brick road. And I'm going to do that with that 4 flat brush, okay? So you can use, if you don't have the 4 flat brush, you can use a 6 flat, whatever brush is comfortable. Even this will work, because the main thing is that you're just going to outline, right? Okay, and you're going to put it in your yellow paint here like this. Just get a good amount of yellow paint, and you're going to come halfway in, okay, like this. And you're just going to put 2 little lines like that, okay? And that's, I don't know if you guys can see that very well. There you go, just like that. Oops, I forget that the camera's the other way. Okay, and that's just kind of in the center. And then what we're going to do is kind of draw a S-type shape and have it come bigger down at the bottom here. So if you look at this one, see it's that long, and then it's just going to widen out as you get to the bottom, okay? So there's no real measurement with this portion of the painting. Because I'm using a larger canvas here, that's about 3 or 4 fingers. This one here is a smaller canvas. It's 2 fingers. So there's really not a defined, you can make your path wide or narrow, either one you want, right? So you're going to just come down at first and then kind of bring it out like that, and then bring it back in a little and then back out, okay? So you see I kind of moved that line about an inch or so in between them, right? So now I'm going to come down this way. I'm going to follow this one, and then I'm going to follow that, but bring it out like that. Okay? Just like that. Okay? Now you just color it all in with your yellow paint for your yellow brick road. Paige, I remember when you painted this on the news with us also. That was, I think, one of the first times we had taught this party. And we were on Fox 4's morning show as a fun activity to do with kids, which we do these all day, any time of day. So if you've got kids this summer and you want to get together with some of your neighborhood moms, we will come in, we will do all the setup, all the cleanup. You can go off into the other room with the moms, drink a glass of wine if you want to, take a nap, go run errands, whatever you want. As long as you've got 10 kids, we will come and set everything up and keep them occupied for about an hour to an hour and a half this summer. I know everybody's excited right now. You're going on family vacations and pool and all of that stuff, but we will come and take care of everything in the middle of July or right at the beginning of August, whenever all your kids are getting on your nerves from the summer and they're bored with the pool and they want something new and fun, exciting to do. And this kind of gets them also back in that mentality of following lessons in class and everything. It's just a really great little summer activity to do in the middle of the week when it's 150 degrees outside like it has been lately. So I'm just going to come in and paint my yellow brick road. I'm just painting the whole thing in yellow. Okay. So just going to get that painted in. And this painting is really nice because there's really not a lot, you don't need a lot of dry time for this. Okay, so you've got your yellow brick road painted in. Now you want to paint the green grass on both sides, right? Just like this, but without the poppies. So I'm going to switch to my larger brush. It depends on what size canvas you're using as to what size brush you want to use. But I'm just going to stick this right in my water. And then I'm going to pick up the larger brush again, okay? And this time, since I've already got my light blue paint mixed here, all I got to do is just dip it in the yellow paint a little bit and pull it right into that light blue. And it'll give me this beautiful green color, okay? You want it to be a bright, bright green. So that's why I like to use the white in there. I'm going to dip it in that blue and really get it a bright green. And it has to be enough to cover both sides of this, right? So I want to make sure that I'm mixing plenty to get it all on there. Boy, that color is really distorted. I hope you guys can see that. So it's really a bright, bright, bright green. Maybe it'll show up better on the canvas here. Okay, so I've got my paint. I'm just mixing this really nice bright green color. That's all I'm doing. So you keep mixing too until you get whatever color green you want. And again, you're just going to take your brush like this. And I'm just going to dip it in the water and go bounce, bounce, bounce. Okay? And now I'm going to come in and paint this all in my bright green. Okay? And just paint the whole thing in. Follow that line. If you notice, I kind of overlap a little bit there. That's all right. Just so long as it's nice and smooth. Oh, okay. So I got a drip here. So I'm going to show you real quickly how you can take care of that. Okay. You're going to take your paper towel here and just dip it in the water a little bit. So you just want the tip of the paper towel wet. I don't think you could even see that, but just a little bit of the paper towel, and then you just brush it off there like that. Okay, and now you can pick up your other brush that you did your yellow brick road with and paint it in. Okay. Oh, Christine, hi. Not Michael, got it. All right, so you're going to paint in your green grass here. And if your brush is getting a little dry, you can really press it down in there, and that'll pull that paint out of the inside of your brush. And you can just scoop it across there. See, that's where your line gets evened out. Now, the whole idea is just fill it in, right? You just want to get it filled in. And then you just come through and you can add texture to it if you want to, like that. Just like we did last week with the boat painting. I like my grass nice and even. Like a finely manicured lawn out in a nice neighborhood where everybody, I remember growing up, my dad and some of the guys in the neighborhood had long competitions to see who had the best mowed lawn and thickest and fullest and greenest. And that's kind of what I think about when I'm painting this part. So the key is you want to get it smoothed on and then get off of it, because once it starts drying, if you're pulling that paint, it'll start getting kind of tacky, and it will literally pull the paint up off of the canvas or down, or whichever way you're going, but it'll peel the paint off the canvas. Okay, so you want to go ahead and take this around, get your back or get your side here, like this. Okay. And I don't paint the bottom until the very end, because if I paint the bottom, if I pick it up to paint it and then I set it back down, it's going to stick to my easel, and that's going to peel the paint up whenever I'm done. So I'm going to dip it back in the water here to get my paint wet again, because it's starting to dry out. Okay, so I'm going to get it kind of watery. And now I'm going to come in and paint this side. Okay. Just like that. Now get the whole green area here, paint it in. And this is where I smash the brush down, because it'll pull all of the extra paint that you have that's right up in here, and that's where it'll pull it from. And I got to mix a little more because I didn't mix enough. So yeah, I guess you guys can't really see this very well because there's quite a glare on there from the paint being wet and having our lighting. Maybe somebody wants to, is there anybody out there watching this who is a video editing person that's looking to build a portfolio for free that would love to come and set up their camera equipment each week and record us live? Please get a hold of me. It's April at applepiepainting.com. I would love to do this with you. There's still pretty big glare. I don't know. But you can see what I'm doing here. I think that when they make the lights for cameras, I think they have that white thing over them so that it's not direct light, and that's probably what prevents them from having glare. But we don't have professional technical equipment right now, so. Okay, so you got all this in, and see, look, I dripped again. So I'm just going to take my little wet piece of my, and there we go. And if it's like this yellow brick road is dry now, so it won't even pull the paint up anymore. But when it's still wet underneath, when it happens, then that's a problem. Okay, so all of this, all of your top here in the sky should be dry by now. So that's kind of the key to this painting, is we go from top, back down, and back up, and back down, so that pieces can dry before we get to the next step. Okay, so the next step here is to paint your Emerald City in, just like this, okay? So I'm going to show an up close of this, so then you kind of see what I'm working on from here. So see how each of these is kind of a different shade of green. Oops, can't tell where I'm, oh. Each of these is kind of a different shade of green. And I'm going to show you how to put all those on. You're just going to put line after line after line after line after line, and so on, okay? So I just wanted to show you that because I don't think it's very easy to see from this portion here, okay? So this one you're going to be using your small round brush for, okay? And this one, first thing you want to do is just mix a bunch of different colors of green paint, okay? So that's going to be taking the green that you already have, and I just mix right on it, just in a little spot off to the side, so you can kind of see how I'm mixing this over here and making it a little more yellow-green, but I'm going to take a little bit of my white paint and get that in. Oh gosh, can't believe this. I almost forgot to do the clouds. Before you start painting that in, it doesn't really matter. If you've already started, just take a second, rinse your brush out. I'm going to show you how to do those clouds real quick, because you want them to be behind the rainbow and behind the Emerald City. And so I'm still going to use the same brush here. So I just rinsed it out really good. I've got my white paint. And then all you're going to do is just come up into here, and you just kind of smush it on. Do you see how I'm kind of just scribbling? And I'm scribbling, I'm going to show you this closer so that we can, so I'm scribbling with the side of my brush, as you can see, right? Okay. So when I'm scribbling, I'm just going to kind of scribble it into a pretty little cloud formation that I like. Obviously, your clouds may look different than my clouds. I'll kind of show you what they look like when I'm done. So then to thin them out on the edges here, I just use the tip of the brush and I just go back and forth real lightly. And then just pull it out and make your clouds there. Okay. Yay. All right. And if anybody has questions or if you need a pause real quick, totally fine. We've got about 5 people tuned in right now, so I have no problem just taking a quick break if you need one. So I'm going to put a couple in here. Nothing real fancy. Like I said, just little scribbles. But you don't, and it doesn't even matter if they're really fluffy clouds. You can even roll them like we did last week in the other painting, in the lighthouse painting. Okay, so I'm just going to put a couple of clouds in there. I don't want a whole lot. And now you're going to rinse that brush out again. Okay. And now you're going to continue with your different colors of green. And I apologize, it's really hard for me to do this sideways so you guys can see. Eventually, I'd like to get something that's going to help with that. But I'm going to mix my different colors. So you're just going to mix different combinations of blue, green, and yellow and white. Okay. So I'm going to mix a very light green. And I'm just pulling the white in from the edge there to make this really light green color. Okay, and now I'm going to take and I'm going to mix and make one more of a teal, like green color here. And I'll show you guys all of these once I get them mixed. It's hard to mix in the air. Plus, it doesn't look like this camera does very well at showing the different shades and hues of colors. Hopefully, we can get a better camera set up so we can really start showing you the best production of those. Excuse me. So I've got a few different colors of green on here now. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I've already got it on my brush here. So I'm just going to pick up the first color of green. And I am going to start with kind of a darker color. It does not matter which shade of green you want to go with. The only thing I suggest is don't use a shade of green that's exactly like this shade of green, because it's not going to look its best, because you're going to bring it out like this and then it'll just look like it blends right in. Okay. So you're going to come here and I'm just going to put a couple of lines and see how I'm just taking it and pushing it down to this edge. Okay, so it's like almost touching the edge. Okay, so you want to be very careful when you're doing this part. Okay, and just put in a couple different ones at different heights. Okay, let's put another kind of a little bit bigger one there. And if you guys have any questions or anything like that, just let me know. And I can answer any questions for you. I'm going to put a little one over here. Okay, and a little one there. And I just added a few in, okay? So it kind of just looks like a bunch of cacti growing out in the middle of the desert, right? So now I'm just going to kind of rinse my brush off a little bit because I don't want that dark color again, and then dry it off. I always dry my brush in between. That's just a personal thing. It keeps me from getting water runs down the canvas. So now I'm going to pick up a different shade of my green here. And I'm going to come in and just kind of put a couple lines. Now, as you can see, I'm just very carefully sliding it right on next to it, right? And they're not all going to be right next to these dark green ones. I'm going to come in here like that. Let's go ahead and find out. So if I'm this far out here, I probably just want another one about right there. And let's put one there. And over here, maybe. That looks good. And maybe that one's, we'll just put that one there. Yeah. If I don't like the placement of these, I can always come through with a different color green and cover them up and all of that stuff, okay? So you now at this point, you just kind of want to work on different color shades of green. 50 shades of green. It was the one I commented earlier. Paige, I don't know which one you commented earlier. I'm sorry. I can't see it at this point. Can you re-ask it again? Because I can't, for whatever reason, it's not showing up here. Paige, everybody watching, since this will be reposted and rewatched over and over again. Paige is my niece, and she is a fantastic artist and always really has been. I remember painting with her when we were little, or when she was little kid, and having her over, and we used to bust out all the paints and then just have a lot of fun. Okay. Oh, you wanted me to come and do one of these on Saturday or Sunday night and have them paint along with you on camera. We might be able to arrange something like that. Probably not this Saturday or Sunday, but at some point, that's definitely something we can look at doing. That would be a lot of fun. Okay, so I'm going to just keep going here, and now I'm going to add in some other colors. I've got kind of a lighter green this time. Okay. Oop, wrong green. I stuck it in the wrong green. Okay. Yeah. Sometimes you just got to take a step back and take a break. I have a new beer that I'm loving, and it is a Red's Blueberry beer. I like it a lot. Take a drink and go back to what you're doing here. Okay? And I'm going to put one here in between these. And let me put this one here. That. And, okay, next green, I think. Yeah, I think that's what I want to do. So, okay, this one I'm going to make my middle one. Oh, it's kind of the same color green, isn't it? Why don't we try this? This is the best part, is you just get to experiment with all different colors of green. So I'm just taking my different colors, and I just keep mixing until I get a color that I like. Because there are so many different kinds of green we can use. So I'm going to cover this one up. There we go. That's a different color. Right, like that. Let's put that right there. Okay. And we'll put that there. And some of these I'm just kind of filling them in. Some are a little bit fatter. Some are a little skinnier. Okay. And this is probably going to be the last one I use. There. That. Okay, and we'll put one right there. Okay, so now we kind of have all of these filled in. Now I want to kind of put some shorter ones on top of them. So I'm going to just keep using the same color, and I'm going to come over a contrasting color like this to slide one over it, okay? And then let's just do a little short one there. Then I'm going to rinse. And come back in. Ha 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 ha. That was funny, Big Joey. I did not mean for you to take a drink. You're not allowed to. Ever. Ever. Okay. Put that there. That needs to be better too. So see, I'm just kind of putting in some different layers on here. I'm putting the dark ones in first, so it looks like it's all real dark, okay? But now I'm going to come through and add my really light greens on top of some of my darker ones, like this one and that there. It's good. Yeah, good enough. Okay, so once you have as many as you want, obviously they all go in different heights, sizes, everything like that. We're going to now rinse out the brush and use the exact same brush, okay? Exact same brush, and you're going to dip it in your red paint now because we're going to move down to add the poppies in. Okay, so when you do the poppies, you got quite a bit of red paint on here, and all you're going to do is just dab, 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 dab. Wherever you want your poppy bushes to be, or are they on bushes? I don't even know. And you can make them whatever shape you want. I like to make them kind of round like that, and I like to put a couple that kind of come off of, so they don't look like they're so manicured, right? So I put a couple in here. That. All right. Just moving right along. Moving right along. Okay. And I'll put one over here. Somebody did ask me the other day that they said, well, if you're doing these for free, are you going to lose your, your painting in-home parties? And I wanted to address that question because I think that's a valid point. First things first, I just love doing these, and I love being able to give this to you guys to paint with me and enjoy this. But it's mostly to show you what this is like, to show you that it's not something to be afraid of, that it can be broke down into very simple steps, to give you a little bit of my personality and show you what I'm like somewhat at a painting party. It's a little different when you're on a live camera instead of at the party interacting with people, but also you're doing this at home with your, in your pajamas right now. When you want to get together with your friends, I mean, the one thing to remember is when you do this at a party, whether it's with your friends, with your family, co-workers, or whatever the reason is, everybody takes this canvas with them at the end of the night. And this canvas serves always as a reminder of whatever that experience was, right? So every time they look at this, they go, oh, that was when we had Michelle's bachelorette party and it was so much fun. Or, oh, I remember we did that at the Remax office. I need to get a hold of my realtor because I'm looking for a new lake house now and I need to get a hold of them for a referral or whatever it may be. They're always going to remember this painting and the situation that was, where the experience of when they had it. So there's a lot of differences. Plus, you get one-on-one help from me while you're going through the painting if you host at home. And you know, you can ask me questions a lot easier. Ask me to take a look at something, or you know, if you're just not sure, not feeling confident, that's what I'm here for. So yeah, there's a lot of different reasons why you'd still want to have a painting party, but I just wanted to give you guys something, a little taste of what it is I do, what I love to do, and what you can do with us. Okay? So again, you're just painting these poppies in. I'm kind of being messy, just kind of scribbling in a way to get them on there. Okay. Hi, Jason. Thank you for tuning in. How many people are painting along with us tonight? And not just, I mean, that are not just tuned in, but are also painting too as we do this. I'd love to see your comments. I'm super excited. Oh, I did want to let you guys know that I now have our website. If you go to the web link for where the painting parties are, or for the Facebook Live parties, it tells on there each week which painting we're going to be doing. And you can, that way you can kind of plan ahead. If you know there's one you really want to tune in for, then you can plan ahead. You can get all the supplies that you need in time. So as I said last week, since I do live in the Kansas City area, if you're in the Kansas City area, I can get with you anytime this week between now, well, not tonight, between tomorrow and next Tuesday, and I can get you all the supplies that you need to tune in and join us next week. I don't remember what my painting is for next week. For some reason, I'm just blanking on it. There's a note on my desk. Will you grab it for me? It's a little green Post-it note with paintings listed on it. Up a little ways. Yeah. It's the dandelion painting. Would you go grab that so I can show everybody? Please and thank you. Awesome. Okay. So now we got all the poppies put in there. We got our Emerald City. The last two things we want to do is add in our rainbow and put our little white dots on the top tips of our Emerald City here, okay? So the best way to do the rainbow that I have found, and I'm going to move this just a little bit because I'm getting a little squished in here. Okay, so the best way I found to do the rainbow is that you are, thank you. I'm so glad you're having fun with this, Christine. I'm super excited about it. It is just way too much fun for me. So whenever you're putting the rainbow in, you want to start with this light blue line, okay? So I'm going to kind of bring this up so you guys can see a little better. So you're going to start with this light blue line here because that's going to keep you from going too high up to keep your red line from going, you know, your red line on your rainbow going off the page or canvas. If you put the red line on first, you can go a little too low to keep it from blocking off the top or chopping off the top of your Emerald City. Okay? Okay? I noticed that last week. I say okay a lot, or all right. So you're going to take, like on my plate, I still have this bit of white paint here, okay? And I'm just going to take, and I'm going to mix a light blue, but I'm going to mix it darker than what the sky is, okay? So I don't want it to be just straight blue because it's going to cover a lot better with a little bit of white paint in it. So I'm going to get this, hopefully you guys can see this nice bright blue color, okay? And what I'm going to do first is put where I want the bottom of the curve to be, right? Whenever you're doing this. So I'm just going to put a little line here. I don't want my blue to go higher than that. I don't want it to go lower than that. Okay, so I'm just putting a little line there. And then what I do is pull it off both sides like that, okay? So I'm going to take this one, and I'm just going to wrap it down. Okay, and I go pretty fast so that I can move right along. And I try to bring this line down about the same space that you have here. It's not going to be perfect, and obviously painting from the side, it won't have that perfect look to it, okay? There goes those creaky stairs. So now I'm just going to come and kind of refine that. Okay. Here, let me see that. The blue one there. Yeah. So this is the one that we'll be painting next week. It's pretty simple, and let me show you. You can do some pretty awesome different colors with it. So this is kind of a fade from pink down into orange, and this one's all blue with some clouds. So you can kind of do them in two different ways. It's hard to see where the camera angle's at. Thank you. Okay. So I've got that. I did the blue line there. So now I'm going to rinse my brush out real quick. And now I'm going to come in above it with my green line. Obviously, you've got tons of green. Pick whichever one floats your boat, okay? There's no rhyme or reason to the color of green that you need to have. You just pick whichever color green makes you happy. Okay, a lot of green on this painting. Hi, Lisa. Thanks for joining. We're putting the rainbow in now. Okay, so again, I'm just going to do the same thing and start from the middle like this. And now I'm going to pull my green line on top of the blue. And I just move really slow. Again, you want to hold it up at the top to get the most control out of what you're doing. Okay. And pull it down. And there you go. Okay. Now you really want to make sure you rinse this out and dry it out because you're moving to light yellow. And if you've got this green in there, that if even in the water or anything like that, then it won't work. Okay. So you want to rinse that out really good. Really good. And then dry it off really good. Okay. So that you should have a nice clean brush. Okay. So now I'm, again, just going to mix a little bit of light yellow. I like to add a little white into it. And that's especially important in this step, especially with the yellow, because the yellow on top of the blue, once it dries, the blue will show right through and it'll look green. So you're just going to paint this yellow one in. So I've got like a nice, like lemon yellow color. Okay, and same thing from the middle, this, and very steady and carefully pull it down, and back from this side. Okay, so you got your nice yellow one. Now you can move to the orange one, which always kind of ends up looking a little peach to me. But basically, I'm just going to take this spot that I already mixed my lemon yellow color on, and I'm just going to add a touch of red paint into it. Okay, the red will usually overtake it, so you got to start adding in more yellow to get it orange. Okay. All right. So you got your nice orange color whenever you're ready. You got a nice orange color here. And same, okay? All right. And then the last step is the red across the top of the rainbow, which again, I like to mix a little white with it. You can just do red if you want, but since we've mixed white with the other ones, it will probably look more cohesive if you mix the red and white together. Just teeniest bit of red paint on your brush with white. See, I just did a little bit. I don't want it to look exactly pink, so I'm going to add a little bit more red in here. Just a smidge of white, so it kind of looks like a hot pink now. I keep showing you guys, but I can tell that this camera doesn't have a good color base on it. We'll get there, one episode after the other. Okay, so again, start up at the top, bring it down, and define it up, and back around. Oh, I'm out of paint. Get some more paint here. There we go. Okay, so now you have a nice pretty rainbow. Thanks, Bonnie. And now I just rinse my brush out real quick. I got a nice rinsed out, dried brush, okay? Now, we need to paint our little door in so you can get into the Emerald City. Okay, so I'm just going to take a little bit of that dark green. Okay, so whichever color you used for the dark green in your Emerald City here, that's the color you're going to pick up on your brush. And you're just going to come, I needed a little water to make it wet again. If it's starting to dry out a little bit, you just add a little water to it and it'll loosen it right back up. And now I'm just going to put a little curve on here and paint it in just like so. Okay. And then rinse out again and dry out again. Okay. Now I'm going to take the bottom of my brush, not the bristles, but the bottom. Okay. And I'm just going to dip it in the white paint. So when I do this part, I dip it in and pull it right back up. It'll make like a little Hershey kiss on the tip of it, okay? And then you just go at the top of each of your little deals for the Emerald City, okay? Like this. And then you just tap it on there, and tap it on there, until you get nice white dots on the tops of each of them. All right, and you go through and just dot, dot, dot. Oops. You kind of have to come back and get the white paint refilled about every 2 to 3 dots, but you just dip it in real quick and put your little dots on. This is probably one of our most popular paintings when it comes to little girls painting parties. They love this. They love this painting and the whole idea of Wizard of Oz. I know we've got some friends out there that are huge Wizard of Oz, Dorothy fans, and love doing this painting. And it's a great one to really just for any skill level. So after I'm done putting all my little white dots on, all I got to do is wipe it off with my napkin. And we're clean and good to go. And we're done. Now, I will show you a little addition that we offer at our painting parties that is kind of unique. So we get gold paint, and we like to paint the gold on the yellow brick road to kind of give it a little sparkle. So I just take the gold paint and squirt it out here on my mixing plate, if I can get it to come out. It's kind of, you don't need a lot, just a little dab will do ya. And then I'm going to take this little flat brush and make sure that you only do this on dry paint, okay? So make sure your yellow brick road is all dry and just kind of brush it in there, and it'll give a nice little sparkle all the way down the canvas. And I'm not going to worry about finishing this out, but I'm going to show you if I can get the light to shine on it the right way. You can kind of see it a little bit on there. You can just kind of see it sprinkled in there. Kind of crazy how glitter doesn't show up on here very well. But you get the point. Glitterize your painting. Okay, so you guys saw the ones that we're going to do last week. Let me show you again. Joey, if you would hand those to me, please. Okay, so next week, 8 o'clock, we're going to do the dancing dandelions or drifting dandelions. And these are the two we're going to use. So you can kind of do whatever colors you want, and I'll help you through that. It helps to have a color wheel, which also comes in our kits. If you want to go on our website and buy a kit to tune in with us next week, please do. It's in our shop. So if you go to the top and click on DIY painting kit, the very first one says Facebook Live painting kit. It's $15. You can go on, and if you would like to don an apron like me, we have a kit that has that, as well as a metal tabletop easel that you can get, so you can just sit at home and paint. And that one is a $30 kit. So you can get either one of those, and we can meet up with you this week, and it'll be a lot of fun. Thanks so much for joining. Glad we could kind of keep it shorter this week, and we'll see you next week. Toodaloo. Oh.